सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्मा तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रयविनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नुमः। निगमकल्पतरोर्गलितं फलं सुखमुखादमृतद्रवसंयुतं पिबत भागवतं रसमालयं मुहुरहो रसिका भुवि भावुकाः। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतः चार्तेष्वभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदाय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। धर्मः प्रोज्झितकैतवोऽत्र परमो निर्मत्सराणां सताम् वेद्यं वास्तवमत्र वस्तु शिवदं तापत्रयोन्मूलनम्। श्रीमद्भागवते महामुनिकृते किं वा परैरीश्वरः सद्यो हृद्यवरुध्यतेऽत्र कृतिभिः शुश्रूषुभिस्तक्षणात्। In the third sarga, we saw the stories of Kardama and Devahuti and their child Kapila Mahamuni giving this message of Sankhya Shastra to his mother Devahuti. Now continuing from there, the dialogue between Maitreya Rishi and Vidura is not yet come to an end. So again, as a reintroduction into the scheme of who is speaking to whom, or else right in the beginning we will be lost. This Bhagavat Mahapurana is being given by Shuka Maharaj to Parikshit. Thus is the story given by Suta Maharaj to the Shaunakadi rishis. So there are two sets now, right in the beginning. One set is Shaunakadi Rishis approach Suta Mahashaya, and Sutaji gives this story to the Rishis, in which he is narrating Parikshit and his life story, his questions to Shuka Maharaj, and Shuka Maharaj's narration is where we continue. Now in this narration, we came across two other pairs. One was between Vidura and Uddhava. Having been represented or given out the responsibility by the Lord himself to spread the knowledge, when Uddhavji was asked by Vidura to part with that knowledge, he said that Lord has thought about you and has specifically requested Maitreya Rishi to impart that knowledge to you. So go find it at Gangadwara, which is Haridwar. Safer to call it Gangadwara because there are always options by people who claim that it is either Haridwar or Haradwar. Hari and Hara, there is always a clash. So if I prefer calling it Gangadwar, because Gangaji is just in Rishikesh is when she reaches the plains. So we can call it as Gangadwar. Having found Maitreya Rishi, Maitreya Rishi has been asked series of questions. Now Vidurji, his profession, his life that he had lived as a minister for Dhritarashtra, and probably what? Definitely in those days, I don't think they trusted any kind of PDA system. Reminders, alarms, PDAs to tell us, like, when what will happen. Or the Palm Pilots as they are called. Most probably what they believed in was in the palm, not the Palm Pilot. Ayam me hasto bhagavan ayam me bhagavattaraha. O Lord, I trust my hands and you shall express as the source of strength, energy through these hands, benefiting myself and the society. So, Vidura, probably in his lifetime, had a series of questions and in a sequence asked all those questions to Maitreya Rishi, right in the beginning. He downloads all his questions, queries. And then quite often, when Maitreya Rishi in his narration of different questions, answering different questions, goes a little away in a branch, in a segment to explain certain things, Vidurji always comes back. Answer that, but also do not forget my old questions, and reminds him again. So my only thing was, looking at his capacity, can you guess how old must have been this Vidura at the Mahabharata times? See, Arjuna himself was 85, 86. He is one generation ahead of him. And this is after Krishna's Leela Samapti. He was older than Krishna. Man, at that age, if he had the capacity to repeat these questions, look at his Medha Shakti. So such Vidura, who is an apt student, attentively listening, ever ready to know about the glories of the Lord, on the other hand, is Maitreya Rishi, who loves the company of Satpurusha. Sometimes when Satpurushas meet each other, not much of a dialogue is required. There are many instances in many great people's life. It seems there was an Avadhuta who visited Ramana Maharshi. He came in, Avadhuta, he was not in any proper norm as a human being. He just came and sat down in front of Ramana Maharshi. And Ramana Maharshi called his immediate disciple and said, "Do not disturb us." So they thought, the word spread around in the ashram that, there's somebody great who has come, and Maharshi himself has asked, Ramana himself has asked us not to disturb them. So let's go sit around and watch what they'll discuss. Hours passed by. They were looking at each other with beautiful smile on their face, but they would not utter a word. And later he just did pranams and left. And people who were sitting there outside, if you have gone to Ramana Ashram, this is a small kutia. Probably not even 10 by 10. Which has 2 doors and then all windows all around, and people were all peeping through and excited that there will be some beautiful discussion. And then Ramana looked at all these people anxious later. He said, "Yes, we communicated in an eloquent speech of silence." ये चीटिंग कर दिया आपने. The other devotees, they said, Bhagavan, this is not fair. You should have spoken something, we would have learned something. They said, these are things that you would not understand. But Maitreya Rishi and Vidura, probably both of the same capacity, because Maitreya Rishi always insists that, "Oh Maharaj, you are the one who have enlightened so many. Probably you are asking all these questions just to think about the Lord. But anyway, I don't mind thinking about the Lord myself. So I welcome all your doubts and queries. And don't assume that I am trying to teach you this knowledge which you are already aware of." Thus start Maitreya Rishi every single time. So again he starts in the 4th chapter. He says, Maitreya Vacha. He's just like reminding us in the first shloka. Manohotu shatarupayam tisrah kanyascha jagnire akutir devahutischa prasutiriti vishrutaha. For Manu and Shatarupa, they had 3 daughters and 2 sons. The 2 sons were Priyavrata and Uttanapada. We have not yet started on that particular part of the story of Priyavrata and Uttanapada. These 3 daughters were given in marriage, because we started out with Brahmaji, how he started this creation. So he created Manu and Shatarupa, they got married and they had 5 kids, and of the 5 kids he had 3 daughters, and these 3 daughters, we have heard of Devahuti and Kardama Rishi and their santana. He says, Akuti was given in marriage, but when she was given in marriage to Rishi Prajapati, it was with a promise. What was the promise? The promise was Putrika dharmam ashritya shatarupānumoditaha. Putrika dharma. Now Putrika dharma is very rare that we come across or rare we hear. We normally hear only Putra dharma. Putra dharma, according to the scriptures, Pum nam narakat trayate iti putraha. The one who relinquishes all kinds of burden, including the sins committed, sins of commission and omission by the parents, that one is called Putra. It was in those days. Now we are true Kali Yuga people. So our definition is little changed. And what is the definition? Pum nama narakam atraiva darshayate pitrun iti putraha. The one who has the capacity to show all those naraka that the father or the parents must have gone through because of their sins of commission and omission, right here, right now, is called a putra. So we don't hear much of putrika dharma. Now what is putrika dharma? Putrika dharma is a clause or a promise taken by the parents of the daughter that the son, first son born to that couple, will be adopted by the parents of the daughter. This normally, later in Manu Dharma, he says, Putrika Dharma is a process of adoption to keep the progeny continued in that particular family. Supposing, if in a family you have only one daughter, so the daughter's son has to be a grandson, but is readopted as a son. That is called the Putrika Dharma. Why, how, when, where? This is not the platform to discuss Dharma Shastra. This is the technicality informed. Now according to the Putrika Dharma, Rishi Prajapati said, Tathastu, may it be so. And then they had two children. One was called Yajna Swarupa and the other one was called Dakshina. One boy and one girl. So according to the promise, Manu Prajapati took Yajna Swarupa and Dakshina was growing with Ruchi Prajapati. Moving further, the second daughter, Devahuti and Kardama, he says, Devahutim adat Kardamaya atmajam manuhu tat sambandhishuta prayam bhavata gadato mama. If you remember Vidura, I have already given the second daughter's details in the earlier canto. Now the last one, Bhagavan Manu gave his third daughter Kanya Prasuti in Vivaha to Brahmaji's putra Daksha Prajapati. Now to this Daksha Prajapati there was a Vishala lineage that was born, of whom one of them was the daughter Dakshayani, who was given in marriage to Lord Shiva himself. Now, having said about these three daughters and their praja, yes, Kardamji had 9 daughters. Apart from Kapila Mahamuni, he had 9 daughters. Are you all confused with too many references? Okay, let's go a rewind. Brahmaji gave birth to Manu Shatarupa. He created them mentally, a physical form, and got these two married. There are 5 children born to this couple. Priyavrata and Uttanapada are the sons. Akuti, Devahuti, Prasuti, 3 daughters. Kardama and Devahuti's story is already explained, but their son, who was born an introvert, he said, I am not interested in any kind of creation and procreation. I am fine as I am. If you observe the whole pattern in this Srishti, बेटों ने कभी अपने माँ बाप की बात सुनी ही नहीं. The father says, go help me in procreation and creation. He says, no, I'm an introvert. I don't want to go anywhere. But in here, Kardama Rishi was of a different kind. He was also interested in going away into tapascharya. Devahuti also went into tapascharya. So they had 9 daughters. Akuti and Ruchi Prajapati, they had 2 children. One was taken back by Manu and the other one was growing with them, whose name was Dakshina. And then we have the third one, whereas Prasuti got married to Daksha Prajapati. We have not yet come to their progeny, their lineage. It's just mentioned that they both got married. Now of these 9 people, they were married to 9 different Brahma Rishis, which is already explained to us in the 3rd canto. He says, one of them, and you have to remember the sequence of Vamsha Parampara here. Marichi Rishi got married to the daughter of Kardamji, whose name was Kala, who had 2 sons. One was Kashyapa and the other one was Purnima. And then Purnima had 2 more sons whose name was Viraja and Vishwaga. And they had one more daughter whose name was Devakulya. This Devakulya, in her next birth, Devakulyam Harehe Pada Shauchadhya Bhut Sarid Divaha. This Devakulya is when in the next birth becomes Ganges, Mother Gangaji. So if somebody asks who is Devakulya, you should know that it is Gangaji's other name. So Devakulya was the daughter of this Purnima. And then Atri, who got married to Anasuya, gave birth to 3 sons who were Dattatreya, Durvasa and Chandra. All 3 of them we know. Each one of them was born with the tapashakti of Atri Mahamuni, who had invoked the Lord, and all 3 of them were pleased by his penance. So Bhagavan Vishnu, Shankar and Brahmaji came down, and then with their Amsha were born the Dattatreya, Durvasa and Chandrama. Now here Vidurji asks Maitreyaji, Atrehe Grihe Surasreshta. In Atri's Griha, why is it that he had 3 sons born of each one of them? Can you explain more in detail about that? So he says, after having gotten married, Atri Mahamuni along with his wife went to do different kinds of tapascharyas. Of course, the best part is they always go to the tapascharya in Saraswati Nadi. But for a change, they went to Kuladrim. Kuladrim, some kind of a mountain range wherein they selected, which was called the Kuladri. Tasmin, at that place, Pranayamena samyamya manovarshashatam munihi Athishthad ekapadena nirdvandvo anila bhojanaha. There he was sitting and doing his tapascharya with lot of pranayama and then lot of abhyasa. He was doing his tapascharya. And with his Yoga Shakti, he was so tejasvi for his 100 years of tapasya that suddenly in front of Atri he saw these three beautiful forms of divinity standing in front of him. So Atrihi uvacha. He says, "O Lord, each one of you standing in front of me who are the cause for this entire universe to be created, to be sustained and to be withdrawn back. Now such creation which is created by you, I was aiming to have a santana, a son who was as brilliant like you. And I was aiming that one of you comes down giving me the boon, but all three of you have come. Now which one of you will give me that boon?" If one of you had come, it would have been easier task for me to ask my boon and I would have been done with. Now all three of you have been coming. Now which one of you is the one who is going to please my boon? Then the Devata said, "Yatha krataste sankalpaha bhavyam te naiva nanyatha satya sankalpasya te brahman yadvai dhyayati te vayam." You were contemplating on the Jagadishvara. And all three of us are Jagadishvara in our own perspective. So all three of us were satisfied with your penance. Now this is called buy one get one free. Actually it is buy one get two free. The first 3-in-1 was born. They said, since you requested the Jagadishvara, and all three of us appeared. And now we are so pleased that you are going to have children blessed by each one of us. So you will have 3 children. Having said so, with the Amsha of Brahmaji was born Chandrama. With the Amsha of Vishnu was born Dattatreya. And with the Amsha of Mahadeva, Shankara, was born Durvasa. No wonder. Because he is more famous, or rather people's narration has made him more infamous. But I don't consider Durvasa Maharshi is one of the greatest. So for Atri Mahamuni, 3 children were born and all 3 were great exemplaries. One was Chandrama, the second one was Dattatreya and the third one was Durvasa. Chandrama, there is also a story which we covered very briefly in the last canto, was that he used to live in the oceans along with Varuna. While living in the oceans, the other living creatures in the oceans thought, looking at his bright nature, assumed, ये कोई अपने जैसा ही है, पर नखरे बहुत कर रहा है. You know, he is one among us sea creatures who is a little brighter than us all. That is the only difference. And then, when he was taken by Lord Shiva, of course Chandrama has different stories which I am not covering right now. Whenever suitable, appropriate, we will cover them. Lord Shiva lifted him off that oceans and put him up there. And since then, when we worship even Lord Shiva, he gets worshipped. Chandra Kaladhara. He gets worshipped. Such is Chandrama. And in fact, who becomes Chandrama then? Who becomes Shivaji to Chandrama? No, Shivaji. Tauji. Uncle. So he is now on the head of his uncle. Now after this, there was another Santana Krama, which was created by Angira Rishi, whose wife was Shraddha. These are all 9 daughters of Kardama, which are again being explained, so that the further explanation of their progenies are given here. Now with Shraddha, he had 4 daughters: Sinivali, Kuhu, Raka and Anumati. And they also had 2 great sons who were Uttatya Maharshi and Swayam Brahmanishtha Brihaspati. You know Brihaspati ji, right? He was the Brahmana or the Ritvik for the Devas. He was the guru of the Devas. So he was born to this Angira Rishi. Pulastya was given into marriage to Havirbhu. Now Havirbhu gave birth to 2 children who were Agastya Rishi and Vishrava. Now both of them are very famous. Agastya Rishi is the one who stopped the Vindhyachala from growing too big and proud, as goes the story. And Vishrava is also famous because he was given in marriage to Idavida, and Idavida gave birth to Kubera, Yaksharaja Kubera. And with his second wife, Keshini, was born the terrible fellow called Ravana. Of course, the 3 brothers, Ravana, Kumbhakarna and Vibhishana, were born to Vishrava and Keshini. So they are first cousins. Kubera and Ravana were first cousins, and Ravana snatched everything that Kubera had. He stripped him down. The Lanka Nagari, Lankapuri, was the resort for Kubera. He snatched it. Then his Vimana, Pushpaka Vimana, was also his. He snatched it. All the wealth that belonged to Kubera also was snatched. So there was nothing in Ravana's palace which was actually his. Everything was snatched from here, pulled from there, pulled from there. A mixture of all put together. Probably a PhD thesis. That's what they do, they say. I have no. Then Maharshi Pulaha was born to Gati. She was also great Karmanishtha, and they had 3 children. Karmasreshta, Virya, Variyan and Sahishnu were the 3 children. And to these 3 children, one of them got married to Kriya, and they gave birth to 60,000 Valakilya. Now Valakilyas are mentioned more in the Devi Bhagavatam and Devi Purana. So we will not go through the story. This is all mentioning of different shakhas that are being originated. And whenever we say the sankalpa, whenever we do the puja and do the sankalpa, normally the Panditji or Purohitji asks us, what is our name? What is our nakshatra? Nakshatra, which constellation are we born in? Or when we were born, what was the constellation in that particular time? And then the third one that they ask is Gotra. So the Gotra is the lineage of our own ancestors who relate to one of these somewhere. So it is trying to give the family tree. So if you want to track down the family tree from the top to the roots, this is somewhere near the roots. This is the family tree. पुलहस्य गतिर भार्या त्रीन सुतान सती सुतान कर्म श्रेष्ठम वरीयासम सहिष्णुच्च महामते क्रतोहो अपि क्रिया भार्या and they were born, they had given birth to these 60,000 Valakilya. Urjayam Jagnire Putraha Vasishthasya Parantapa. Vasishtha was married to Urja. Was Vasishtha married to Urja? Who was the wife of Vasishtha? Vasishtha Muni, you keep hearing the word, right? He was the guru for even Sri Ramchandra ji. Arundhati. And they gave birth to 7 Brahma Rishis. And those 7 were Chitraketu, Surochi, Viraja, Mitra, Ulbana, Vasu Brudhyanaha, and Dyumana. And Bhrigu got married to Khyati. He gave birth to 2 children who were named Dhata and Vidhata. And 1 daughter named Shri. Meru Rishi had 2 daughters, Ayati and Niyati. And they were married to this Dhata and Vidhata. Of them were born Mrukanda and Prana. Mrukanda was the father of Markandeya. That's how he is called Markandeya. And Prana Munivara gave birth to Vedashira. Bhriguji also gave birth to Kavi, who was later known as Ushana. Ushana is also the other name of Shukracharya. Shukracharya is the guru of Daitya. See, Rakshasa, Asuratva, these are the behaviors. But who are they? They are Daitya. Again, going back to the story, there were 2 wives. One was Diti and the other one was Aditi. Those who are born to Aditi are called Aditya and those who are born to Diti are called Daitya. And the behavior of these Daityas were so torturous, so terrible that they were called Rakshasas also. And who was the guru for them? Ushana. If you remember, Kavinam Ushana Kavihi. Where does it come? Now this comes somewhere that we have already studied. Good. It comes in Bhagavad Gita in the 11th chapter, wherein the Vibhuti is being explained, and the Lord says, among the Kavi, those who are Kranta Darshinaha, those who could think revolutionary, I am Ushana Kavi, and that is Shukracharya. After having explained all the Santana of the Kardama Rishi's daughters, now let me explain. This is what Maitreya Rishiji says, that okay, for those of you who are feeling, how long will this progeny thing continue? Come on, can we get over with it? Did you all listen to this whole lineage with Shraddha? If you did listen to it with Shraddha, Shrunvata Shraddhadhanasya. If you heard this with Shraddha, Sadhyaha Papaharaha Paraha. Now I am not creating it. It is there in the 46th shloka. Sadhyaha, right now, right here, Papaharaha Paraha. Great kinds of sins that we might have committed will be washed away. If you have heard it with Shraddha. That's why I asked first. Did you hear it with Shraddha? Or you are just eagerly waiting? I just wanted to get it over with. Enough of these names. What is there in the names? This is the phala of listening to the names. See, even when we are relating to many stories that we keep reading, this I am talking very superficial meaning or superficial reason. Many stories that we keep reading and then suddenly we come across some name. कहीं तो सुना होगा, अंगिरा है कोई. And we will not have any grasp over who, what, where, when is happening. So mention of it, a recognition of it, so that we can understand our own Puranas, our own Itihasa better. So again I am asking, did you listen to his Shraddha? Then your Papa Haraha, Sadhyaha, right now. Now having said that incentive, he still continues with the names. Brahmaji, see, unless you know the lineage, the other stories of who relates to what and why did that happen actually will not make any sense. And then finally when we look at our interpretation of our stories, then we come across a story wherein suddenly Shiva got angry with Daksha Prajapati. Why did he get angry? What was the necessity? What are the conditions? What happened? How is he related to him? Why should he get angry? So all this lineage is given so that we relate, we link them all together. Now Daksha Prajapati got married to Manu's daughter Prasuti. Now imagine, at one level, Ravana is also born to a great parampara. Born with a silver spoon, as they say. How many of, even today we see, right, that people born with silver spoon, so much of opportunity, so much of things that they can avail of, but then they misuse their opportunities and never make any good use of it. Such ones can be called as a Ravana tendency or a Ravana mentality. One trait of Ravana that also can be explained. On the other hand, Brahmaji got his son married to Manu's daughter, Prasuti. And she gave birth to 16 daughters. Pay attention. This part I am going to go very slow. Pay attention. Of these 16, 13 were married to Dharma. 13 of them were married to Dharma. One was married to Agnideva. And one was married to the Samasta Punya of the Pitruloka. Samasta Teja of Pitruloka. And one was married to Bhagavan Shankar. Now who are these daughters who are married to Dharma? Pay attention to the daughters' names. That Dharma exists when all these 13 of them exist. Where, what are they? Shraddha, Maitri, Daya, Shanti, Tushti, Pushti, Kriya, Unnati, Buddhi, Medha, Titiksha, Hrihi and Murti. These were the 13 daughters born to. If you are referring to the shloka, then it is the 49th shloka, Shraddha, Maitri, Daya, Shanti, Tushti, Pushti, Kriyonnati, Buddhir, Medati, Tiksha, Hrihi, Murtir, Dharmasya, Patnayaha. Yete, all these 13 are the wives of Dharma. Now, who are the children born to these 13? That is also very interesting to note. Shraddha gave birth to Shubha. When you have Shraddha in you, what is born? Only auspiciousness can be born. That is a result of your dharma. Wherein we keep claiming that, where will righteousness win in this country, in this world, in this plurality? It has to be a cutthroat competition. It has to be mean use of your own whatever capacities that you have. That is what will yield these different kinds of result. No. Wherever there is Shraddha, there you will find Shubha, auspiciousness. Maitri, wherever there is Maitri, Maitri gave birth to Prasada. Prasada is not what we give bhoga to the Lord, Naivedya, and then what we get is Prasada. That is not Prasada. Manaha Prasada Saumyatvam. The pleasantness or the peacefulness of mind is when you are friendly with anybody and everybody. That is called Prasada. And you are always, having rough edges with everybody. Do you think you will be at peace? And then there is a claim, Swamiji, those who follow dharma do not have any kind of wealth, riches or anything to enjoy. But those who do not follow dharma, they have so much of riches. But ask them if they have this prasada. And I really liked the other day the drama that the kids put on for Sri Ramanavami celebrations. One dialogue which I normally keep repeating was used there. He says, मेरे पास गाड़ी है, बंगला है, तेरे पास क्या है? Prasad. That contentment, that satisfaction, that peace from within is only when you are friendly. Maitri gave birth to Prasada. Amazing, the sons and daughters of these 13. Who was born to Daya? Abhaya. Abhaya, fearlessness was born to Daya. It is when you know that you are compassionate and you don't really are troubling anybody. That's why you don't need to be scared of anything or anybody. Abhaya is not something that which is portrayed in today's world, wherein there is one hero and there are tons and tons of villains and he can kick them all and then he shows his fearlessness. That is not fearlessness. In fact, if you have learned taekwondo or karate or whatever this, the first rule they say, if you are attacked, patli gali pakdo. It is not for display, it is only for your self-protection. Abhaya is born when you have daya. When you have compassion, that is when fearlessness can be born. Shanti gave birth to Sukha. If you don't have Shanti, if you are always agitated, can you be happy? Running from pillar to post, running and doing one after the other, never at peace, always restless. In fact, such people, when you force them to sit quiet, मजा आ जाएगा. And such people are very enthused about sitting for meditation class. So you teach meditation class now. What is this? Names. Teach meditation. Okay, they sit in meditation class. It will be very musical meditation class. You can run a symphony orchestra. They'll be snoring. Or if they're not snoring, they'll be breaking their knuckles and making all those sounds. Or the worst thing is they'll be playing with something or the other. The most irritable thing. Meditating. कर क्या रहे हो? कट. If something like that happens in my class, I literally throw them out of the class. In fact, once in Gurudev's class, a meditation he was conducting in Siddhabari, it seems. And he had mentioned it very strictly, do not take notes or record in my meditation class. And there was this smart Alec who came in early, set up his things to record, and Gurudev just came in after. Then the lights are dim and everybody, so he's sitting in one corner near the speaker to just push the button and sit. So as Gurudev said Om, he pushed the button and sat down, and then Gurudev started and said, I don't like this being taped or recorded. Can you turn off? And then did not pay attention or listen to what Gurudev was saying. He specifically called out the name and said, if you do not turn it off, I will be throwing you out of this camp. So every time I hear this story, I don't want to go through this process or visualize this process through Gurudev's mind. I want to go through the process through the individual who had attempted this from his mindset. How much petrified he must have been. Abhaya must have been totally gone. So totally distracted, always doing something or the other. Dhyan nahi kar paoge. If you are restless, you cannot have sukha. Bottom line. The Shanti gave birth to Sukha. Tushti, satisfaction, gave birth to joy, Moda. Satisfaction, Tushti, meaning you have accepted as is and you know what to do with as is. That is called joy. जो है जितना है मजा करो. That is called moda. Pushti. Pushti gave birth to ahankara. When you are well to do, what is born is ahankara. I don't need to give much explanation on that, right? And then Kriya gave birth to yoga. So when you do karma and wash away your vasanas, what it gives rise to is yoga. That stability within. Unnati gave birth to darpa. Buddhi gave birth to artha, meaning. Medha gave birth to smriti, capacity to remember. Titiksha, the capacity to bear anything with smile, with joy on your face, gave birth to kshema. Kshema, fortitude. Today I was listening to a song I was just flipping through channels while driving and I just came across this jazzy tune. The words of it caught my attention. I stopped with that channel and I was listening to that song. It was very beautiful. You are never fully dressed without a smile. From ear to ear, it ain't matter what you wear from head to toe. You may be a senator or a janitor, but what matters is what you wear from ear to ear. You are never fully dressed if you do not wear your smile. And that capacity to wear a smile in spite of the situation and go through that situation is called Kshema. Kshema is not that, when you will have no troubles at all. There is not a single thing in this world which you will not have a situation that it has to face. And my understanding is even the pillar outside has a trouble. I have explained you the pillar situation, right? The grandfather who lives right across corner had one dog, now has 3. So every day early in the morning he takes the dogs for a walk. Earlier the problem was 1, now it has tripled. Now even a pillar can have a problem. What are you talking of human beings? The problem is, life is not where there will be no problem at all. There will be, because of what we have done, it will come. It is when we have titiksha, there will be kshema. Hrihi. Hri gave birth to Vinaya, Prashraya. Hri is modesty. Modesty gave birth to Vinaya. Vinaya, humility. Amazing children that they were born. Now, having explained so far, there is only one daughter which is not explained here in this list. I said, the last one gave birth to, Murti Devi gave birth to 2 rishis, Nara and Narayana. And this Nara Narayana, they are the ones who have been in meditation or tapascharya since then, they say. And if you read through Wanderings in Himalayas, Kailash Yatra or Ishwar Darshan, especially in Ishwar Darshan you come across, these are all books written by our Tapon Maharaj, Swami Tapon Maharaj, Gurudev's Guruji. So he says that each one of these birds, plants, mountains, rocks in these Himalayas have to be one of the Yaksha Kinnara Rishi who have been taking in that form and meditating. And in his travelogue, he also mentions he coming across such instances wherein he has come across these people. And if you go with that belief, in Badri Narayan, which happens to be one of the 4 dhams, Char Dham as they call, Badri Narayana, there are 2 mountains, Nara and Narayana. On the Narayana Parvata is where you have Badrinath temple situated. The Nara Parvata is where all the Yoga Bhumi starts. That's where Nara, all of us, are supposed to do our penance and sadhana. So these Nara Narayana were born to Murti Devi. As soon as these were born, all the devas, the other devas in the heavens, came down, showering and singing praises for these 2. Having said this, there's just one thing that comes into my mind, is what in Mandukya Upanishad Shankaracharya says. He says that if you do not understand the dharma of your own mind, the secrets of Vedas, the secrets of scriptures can never get revealed. The subtleties of our own mind, if we cannot perceive, in pure Bombay Hindi, अपने भेजे में जो हो रहा है हम पता नहीं है. If we cannot relate to what is happening in our own head, how our mind takes different forms, different shapes, why it takes and how to transcend them, and trying to learn the different scriptures and trying to interpret them, trying to understand them, would make no sense at all. So understanding the dharma of your own, or the nature of your own mind, intellect and this equipment would make us more intuitive in understanding these shlokas and meanings. Having said that, each one of these further created their progenies. But then Vidurji, as though, comes to our rescue. And he asks, this comes in the second chapter of the fourth canto. Bhave Shilavatam Sreshte Daksho Duhitru Vatsalaha Vidyeshmakarot Kasmat Anayad Anadrityatmajam Satim Kastam Charachara Gurum Nirvairam Shanta Vigraham Atma Ramam Katham Dveshti Jagato Daivatam Mahat. Charachara Gurum, the one who is a guru for this whole universe of both sentient and insentient, with life, without life, with form, without form. Chara Achara. Nirvairam, and he is always meditating. And who can have a trouble with somebody meditating? Unless he is your husband and you have asked him to get some milk. Unless he is your wife and whom you are expecting to cook your food and take care of the house, he was meditating. And here Parvati ji knew, Dakshayani knew that it is that kind of Shiva. And she fell in love with that form of meditation and she said, I am okay with him meditating. वो अपना करे और मैं अपना करूंगी. He will be in his world and I will be in my world. Of course, what was the world of Dakshayani? It was Lord Shiva himself. To see to it that his meditation is not disturbed, anything that he requires, wants to be provided for, is what was her duty. That was the duty of Dakshayani. Now I don't say that that is the duty of all wives. If all wives have to treat Pati as this Parameshwara, the Pati has to be like Parameshwara. And that they don't. They keep saying, you look at Dakshayani, she was like treating him like that. But are you like that? To expect that from your own. But anyway, continuing further, he says, he is such Bhola Bala sitting in his own Shanta Vigraha, and even Daksha Prajapati is known to love his daughters, especially this Dakshayani, he loved them the most, loved her the most. And somehow it doesn't seem why these two had a little rough edges which led to such a destructive end. Can you explain what actually happened? So on request, pure demand by Vidura, Maitreya Rishiji starts. Pura Vishwasrajam Satre. After having, given all these tasks to different people in their creation, Daksha Prajapati entered his sabha. Having entered his sabha, all the devatas, all the Indra, Varuna, Agni, Prachetasa, Valakilya, everybody, all the rishis, they stood up as Daksha Prajapati walked in. Rajadiraja, Rajagambhira, Rajamartanda, Vishwa Srishtikarta, Shri 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 Shri. They pronounced his presence and everybody stood up, and as he walked in, so he was looking at everybody. He looked at these two people sitting. One he excused. Why? He was his father. It was Brahmaji. And the other one? Bad. Too bad. And Lord Shiva was sitting there, closed eyes. He did not even recognize the presence of walking him in. At least Brahma ji looked at him, "Kaise ho beta?" Kuch to kaha unhone. He said something. But this Shiva, he closed his eyes, ignoring his coming. बहुत बुरा हुआ. Bad. He sat down on his throne and then said, Shruyatam Brahmarshayo me. Hey Brahma Rishis, that you are all assembled here, listen to me. Saha Devaha Sahagnayaha. All the Devas also, please pay attention. Sadhunam Bhruvato Vrittam na Ajnanat Nachasa Matsarat. This is not with too much of indulgence of myself or with my ignorance that I am talking. And every fool starts with this kind of statements. Believe me, I understand you. I've been there, done that. Now pay attention. Not that I want to intrude into this affair, but you say that you don't want to interfere, and why are you interfering? By the mention of that, you have already interfered. Matsara is a bhav wherein you have these polished words, but it has a hidden agenda underneath. That's what I am trying to bring in with different examples. He says, this Mahadeva, he is such a nirlajja. Nirlajja, shameless fellow. I gave my daughter to him, and now he is as good as my own son. And he does not get up in respect to my presence coming here. Now Mahadeva, who was in his own deep meditation, did not pay attention to it. Look at him. The typical Indian parents, they have these dialogues. गला फाड़ के चिल्ला रहा हूं, फिर भी तुझ में कोई बदलाव ही नहीं आता है, सुनता भी नहीं है. Now here I am screaming at the top of my lungs and he doesn't even pay attention. Look at him. Thank goodness their chairs were apart. Sun! He would have given Shivji one. Their chairs were apart, so he was just screaming. And then he retrieved all the data that was on him, which was bothering him, that he had given his daughter in marriage to such a fellow. All that data got retrieved. What was the data? Preta vaseshu ghoreshu preter bhuta ganer vrta. Horrible fellow. Where does he live? Preta nivasa sthana, in the smashana. And who is his friends? All the ganas, good for nothing fellows, all anomalies in this society are gathered around him as his best friends, best buddies. The only difference between our kids who are with such kind of anomalies in the society, if they ever get in touch with them, is they get influenced by them. But with Lord Shiva, all these ganas were not influencing Shiva. Shiva had influenced them so that they become some productive good use. That is the difference. But that Daksha somehow did not see. He said that his friends are worthless. Now with such fellow my daughter lives. That was hurting him, rupturing him within. And the first thing that really triggered it off was he did not stand up. He is like as good as my son and he doesn't respect me. And then I hear that he doesn't even take bath. Chita bhasma krita snanaha. Chita bhasma krita snanaha. All that he does is has the chita bhasma all over his body. Patihi pramatha bhutanam. He is called the Pramatha Ganapati. He is the boss of all these Pramatha Ganas. Tasma, he says, when somebody gets such irritated, I think this comes in Chanakya Niti. When somebody gets irritated with you, and there is a chance that they get irritated with when they see you not responding, respond and leave that place. Which will take care of lot of anartha. Like you go to the camp or you come to the spiritual lectures and things and you start growing within and there is an internal peace or quietude. Let's assume what is wrong in assumptions. And then you go home back. And everybody is screaming and it doesn't affect you. ठीक है बेटा. Beta is like, you'll be troubled not seeing you react. Beta is fine. Now the spouse, you don't react. And suddenly it is taken like, you don't love me anymore? Why? You're not reacting. You don't care for us anymore because you're not reacting. This is react so that so much of anartha can be taken care of. Lord Shiva did not react. And then he says, he scolded him left and right. And then he gave shapa to Mahadeva. And what shapa did he give? This Mahadeva, who is not who is the Adhamadhama of the Devatas because he doesn't have any Sishtachara, he doesn't follow any rules and regulations. Such fellow should not be given a part in the Yajna of the Kratus. That's why you never hear Shivaya Swaha Idan Namama. Do you hear? You hear Indraya Swaha, Varunaya Swaha, Agnaya Swaha, Mitraya Swaha, all these different we hear. Do you ever hear Shivaya Swaha Idan Namama? There are all different parts, portions of this yajna which go to different gods. This Shiva who doesn't have any Shishtachara, I cut his ration. Lord Shiva was silent. But then, who are his associates? एकदम जबरदस्त लोग हैं, खतरनाक लोग हैं. Nandi hears, he is the first one to hear that Lord Shiva has been cursed by Daksha Prajapati. Now he says, हम कुछ कम है क्या? How dare you curse our boss? So Nandi comes into picture and says, Nandikeshwara, he gave shapa to Daksha. You will have abhimana with your sharira as long as there is this creation. And with that abhimana, if you do penance, probably you will have some kind of a solace later. but you will be abhimanagrasta. Did it end there? Daksha gave a shap to Shiva. Shiva did not react. Nandi got uttejita and then he gave a shap to Daksha. All you Daksha Prajapati, all these Brahmins are like this. This is what ended Nandi. When Nandigeshwara ended it with that tone, I think it was Bhrigu. And this is awesome. The 27th and 28th sloka. Bhrigu lost his control and then he said, those who are the Shiva's devotees, they will be Pakhandi. Tasyaiva dadatashyapam shrutva dvijakulaya vai Bhrigu pratyutsrujat shapam brahmadandam duratyayam. He gave Pakhandinahate bhavantu. So one misunderstanding can lead as a domino effect. One after the other, one after the other. After having this sharper and that disturbed because of too much of sharpers, crisscrossing and lot of voices coming up, Lord Shiva really got out of his meditation and he saw that all these things were happening. He said, chalo, pack up. I don't need to be in such a place which is distracting and disturbing me. And then he moved away with all his ganas. And that yajna, which was supposed to be done by Daksha Prajapati, got continued in absence of Lord Shiva. One or 2 cents worth. Just looking at Lord Shiva. When he goes back home to Kailasha, he does not carry this forward to Kailasha with a sad face, with a sunflower at sunset kind of a face. Have you seen a sunflower at sunset time? लटका हुआ होता है, मुरझाया नहीं रहता है पर लटका हुआ होता है. The face fallen and says, क्यों जी क्या हुआ? कुछ नहीं. कुछ तो डिस्टर्ब लगते हो. कुछ नहीं, nothing. It was actually my fault. Your father? Huh. He never carried a single word, nothing of this what happened back home. He just didn't even recognize that it was abused and he was cursed by all these people. He did not go run to Parvati or Dakshayani and say, हमारा राशन कट गया, अब हम क्या करेंगे? He did not even take it personally. Matters of opinion doesn't matter. He did not inform this to Parvati. He just kept quiet. A long time after, there comes a situation wherein, this is a beautiful introduction. The way it has been described by Maitreya Rishi, with a lot of experience he has put it, these words. Ishtva savajapeyena, this is in the 3rd chapter, 3rd sloka. Brahmishtan abhibhuya cha Brahaspati savam nama Samarebhe kraturuttamam. Vajapaya Yajna, which was called Brahaspati Savam, this Mahayajna was being performed by Daksha Prajapati. And he had sent invitation to everybody in this world, in this universe. Every single person. Noteworthy, not noteworthy, he sent. And also mentioned RSVP. So he knew everybody were coming. And since it was such a big show, which had a big red carpet and there will be lots of paparazzi and तदुपश्रुत्य नभसि खेचराणां प्रजल्पतां सती दाक्षायणी देवी. Sati Dakshayani Devi, she went into her balcony in Kailasa and she saw in the khechara, in the sky, in the space, there are like, one after the other, all these Vimana were leaving. Vimana, their personal private jet, private air carriers were leaving. And they were all like dressed so beautiful, so elegant. Even the people, sevakas working for the great devatas were looking adored in great beauty. And then Dakshayani was looking like, if everybody is going in a normal car, it's not a big deal. Kaam ko jana hai har roz savere. But today was different. Why everybody was wearing har, anupura, kankana, keyura, all different kinds of ornaments, and then they had beautiful silken, different designs, different patterns, new fashion. Everything was there, and she was like, where are they all going? So she asked the first one, अरे सुनती हो? कहां तक जा रहे हो? And the person that she asked to probably gave that weird look. Are you kidding? Your father's place. He is having this Vajapaya Yajna and everybody is invited. See you there. The second one she stopped just to confirm. Where are you up to? हम बड़े सज धज के जा रहे हो? कौन से पार्टी में जा रहे हो? Your father has invited. And as so, जल पे नमक छिड़कना कहते हैं उसको. When something is burnt, you apply little salt. How will it be? She was already feeling bad that father, my own father, Yajna, did not invite me. How can that be? It will be such a beautiful thing if it is my father. I can meet all my 12 sisters and their children, and it will be such a good family gathering. And of course there will be other rishis and I can get blessings and I will have the punya of participating in the Yajna also. I can wear this kind of jewelry, necklace, and I can take all my things. But that's in the side. But every husband is taking their wife with such elegant viman and other things. My fellow is still sitting there in dhyana. So she has like double layered doubt. Did he invite and he not going? Did he not invite and he, poor fellow, doesn't know at all? After you get married, this is what they say. The abhimana for the new setup increases 100-folds than it was earlier. बाकी बहनों को बुलाया, मेरे और मेरे पति को नहीं बुलाया. And she was feeling all this inside. And she approached. The first thing she says, and she is bholi wali, equally bholi wali like Shankar. The first thing she says is, Prajapatehe te shvasurasya sampratam. Te shvasurasya. Shvasura, your mamaji, your father-in-law. FIL. Father-in-law. has not called you? He is organizing this big thing. But anyway, all my sisters will be there. Bhaginyaha me. All my sisters will be there, and I have heard that their children also are coming, and there is no enthusiasm in his face. And he says, are we not going? Then he opens his eyes. Parvati, Dakshayani, can I speak to you about this tomorrow? Because it is almost 9 o'clock now. Say, but I want to go now. That will have to wait. We'll sleep over it. So we'll deal with what Lord Shiva has to answer Dakshayani tomorrow. It's a very beautiful piece of advice that he gives. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.